It was past 3 a.m., and I was driving alone through the northern mountains of Pakistan. Imagine a road so empty that for hundreds of miles, there's not a single gas station, not even a tea stall, just cliffs on one side, jungle on the other, and a silence that presses against your chest. During the day, people already feel uneasy traveling here. At night, it feels like the road itself wants to swallow you whole. I kept telling myself I'd make it through if I just stayed focused, but sometimes the scariest journeys are the ones you think you can handle. That's when it happened. A loud bang ripped through the silence. My tire had blown out. My heart started hammering. I pulled over and grabbed the spare. Every sound in that forest felt exaggerated, like the trees were listening. As I crouched by the car, torch in hand, I felt it, that strange sensation of being watched. At first, I brushed it off, maybe nerves. But then, just for a split second, I saw them, two glowing eyes between the trees, and before I could even blink, they vanished. That moment I realized I wasn't alone out there. I tried to shake it off, telling myself maybe it was just an animal. But the more I worked on that tire, the more I felt those eyes, like something hidden just beyond the tree line, waiting for me to notice again. Every time my torchlight swept across the branches, I caught movement, quick, darting shadows that disappeared the second I focused. My breathing got heavier, my hands clumsy on the wrench. The jungle wasn't just silent anymore. It felt alive. Have you ever had that crawling sense that you're being watched? Out there, it was almost unbearable. I finally fixed the tire, slammed the trunk, and told myself to just drive. But the road didn't make it easier. Every curve felt sharper, every shadow stretched longer. More than once, I swear I saw something dart across the beam of my headlights. A figure, fast, almost human. But when I hit the brakes and scanned the road, there was nothing. Just black asphalt and the endless forest breathing around me. That's when paranoia started to sink in. It wasn't just the jungle anymore. It was inside the car with me, whispering that something wasn't right. The further I drove, the more the forest seemed to close in around me. My headlights barely cut through the darkness. It was like the night itself was swallowing the beam. The silence was no longer empty. It felt heavy, pressing down on the roof of my car. Even the engine's hum sounded out of place, like it didn't belong there. Every mile deeper felt like I was leaving the world behind and entering something older, something that wasn't meant for people. My gut told me to turn back, but the road only went forward. That's the worst part. It always pulls you forward. And then my heart nearly stopped. Out of nowhere, she was there, standing dead center in the road. A woman, head bowed, long hair spilling forward, dressed in pale white that glowed under my headlights. My reflexes kicked in. I slammed the brakes, the tires screamed, and the car jolted to a stop just feet away from her. My chest was pounding, every instinct telling me not to move, not to breathe. For a few seconds, I thought maybe she was real, maybe she needed help, but something in me whispered, "Don't get out." I sat there, gripping the steering wheel so tight my knuckles went white. She didn't move, not a twitch, not a single step, just still. Her head hung low, her arms dangling by her sides like she'd been carved out of stone. I hit the horn once, the sound ripping through the night, but she didn't flinch, didn't even react. And that's when the fear really sank in, because no matter who you are, no one stands that still. Not in the middle of a dark mountain road. Every second felt longer than the last, stretching into forever. Then slowly, she lifted her face. And God, I wish she hadn't. Her skin looked human, yes, but her eyes, they weren't human at all. They were bottomless, just black, empty pits, swallowing up the headlights without a reflection. For a moment, I couldn't even breathe. And then, as if she'd been waiting just for me, she smiled. Not a kind smile, not a desperate one. It was the kind of smile that says, "I've been expecting you." That's when I knew this wasn't a stranger. This was something else entirely. That smile burned into me. It wasn't wide or exaggerated. It was subtle, patient, like she had all the time in the world. My stomach dropped. This wasn't someone who needed help. This was someone who wanted me there, waiting. My mind screamed at me to move, but my body froze. I could feel sweat sliding down my back, cold and sharp. And in that silence, I realized something terrifying. She hadn't walked into the road. She had appeared, just there, as if the darkness had pushed her forward. My instincts finally broke the paralysis. I had to get out. I slammed my foot on the accelerator. The engine roared, the tires shrieked, and the car lunged forward. I didn't care if she jumped aside or vanished. I just had to get away. My pulse was racing so hard it drowned out everything else, like the sound of my own heartbeat was the only thing left in the world. The trees blurred by, the headlights cut through mile after mile of black road, and for the first time that night I thought maybe, just maybe, I'd left her behind. But some things don't stay behind. They follow. I couldn't stop myself from looking in the mirror. Some desperate part of me needed to see the road empty behind me. But it wasn't. She wasn't there anymore. At least, not outside. My blood turned cold, because in that split second, I saw her reflection clear as day, sitting in my backseat. Her face was inches from the mirror, those black eyes locked on mine. I gasped, nearly losing control of the wheel, and then she was gone. The seat was empty, but the smell of damp earth filled the car, as if the forest itself had followed me inside. Before I could catch my breath, the mirror went black. Not cracked, not fogged, black, like the glass itself had swallowed all light. Then the dashboard flickered, the headlights dimmed, and a heavy shadow spread through the cabin. My hands shook on the steering wheel as the darkness grew thicker until it felt like I wasn't driving a car anymore. I was floating in nothing. I couldn't even see my own hands, just pitch black silence pressing in. That was the moment I knew I wasn't in control anymore. Something else was driving me forward. I don't remember what happened after that. One moment, I was fighting the wheel in total darkness, and the next, nothing. Blank. When I try to recall, it's like my memory cuts off completely. But the story didn't end with me. At sunrise, villagers found my car teetering on the edge of a cliff. The engine was dead, the doors locked from the inside. And the strangest part, there was no one behind the wheel, no footprints, no blood, just an empty vehicle, abandoned like the driver had vanished into thin air. They said it was impossible, but I know better, because in that region, people whisper about her, the woman in white. Some call her a Churail, others a restless spirit doomed to wander the mountain roads at night. They say she targets lone travelers, especially men, drawing them deeper into the forest until they're never seen again. When I first heard those stories, I laughed them off. Just old wives' tales to scare children. But after that night, the pieces fit too well. Maybe she wasn't a myth at all. Maybe she'd been waiting all along for someone like me to cross her path. Some people argue what I saw wasn't real, that it was nothing more than exhaustion playing tricks on me. After all, driving alone at 3 a.m. can distort your senses. Sleep deprivation can create hallucinations so vivid you swear they were flesh and blood. Scientists say the brain fills silence with illusions when it's pushed to its limits. And maybe they're right. Maybe my mind conjured that woman out of fear and fatigue. But here's the problem with that explanation. Hallucinations don't leave physical traces. They don't black out your mirrors or lock a car with no driver inside. And I'm not the only one. Travelers through those mountain roads tell their own chilling accounts. Truck drivers swear they've seen a figure dart across the highway at night, only for it to vanish when their beams hit. Locals whisper about accidents where the victim was never found, just an empty vehicle with headlights still on. Even tourists, who don't know the folklore, report seeing a woman in pale clothes standing silently in the road. Different voices, same story. And when that many people describe the same figure, you can't write it off as coincidence. The truth is, no one really knows what happened to me that night. Was it a spirit? A hallucination? Something beyond what we can explain? The car was found, but I wasn't. And to this day, no explanation has tied every thread together. Why were the doors locked? Why was there no sign of struggle? Why did the mirror go black? Too many questions hang in the air, with no answers to calm them. And maybe that's what makes it worse, because mysteries don't end. They linger long after the story is told. Some journeys never finish. So if you ever find yourself driving alone through those northern mountains, remember this. Not every figure you meet on the road is meant to be there. Some don't belong in this world at all. That night, I thought I could escape her. I thought the car, the speed, the road would save me. But she was already inside, waiting. And the truth is, once you've looked into eyes that black, there's no outrunning them. Because some passengers don't need to open the door. They're already with you. And that's where my road ended. A car left behind, a driver gone, and a story that refuses to die. Maybe it was exhaustion. Maybe it was folklore come alive. Or maybe in places where the world grows too quiet, something else waits to be seen. Whatever you believe, just remember, some roads don't take you home. They take you deeper. And if you're brave enough to hear more stories like this one, stay tuned, because the next one may be even darker.